can't hear.
Is that better?
Still quiet. Yeah, just quiet, Max.
Is that better?
Hi Sean, how's it going? Good man, good. Welcome to GTSSA. The stream's up already. We're just scrambling a bit with races finishing late. I don't know if you got our YouTube channel, but myself and you, we have to pull up YouTube to commentate. Yeah. It is. Yeah, it's been up for about a minute. I'm just going to share the link, Josh. I see.
Yeah,
Did you?
share it on the I'm just going to add it to Discord.
Correct. No problem. Josh, you say I can share it on the groups.
Yeah, I'll share it on Discord.
Oops. Yeah. Fifth. Due to everyone else crashing out. Yeah, I didn't practice. I wasn't even sure if I was going to race. I was doing 109s, and then in the race I did 110, 111. But fortunately, I only had one incident that cost me a fair amount of time, where other guys all spun out a couple times. So you'll see little orange curbs on Laguna Seca, and with these SF cars, you touch them, it bounces you into space. It's live now. Race qualifying should be starting any minute, Josh.
Yeah,
Okay, so Josh is our silent partner. He'll give us one or two thoughts during the race, but generally he doesn't talk. But if you hear heavy breathing, then you know who it is.
that is why I actually dropped my mic volume, so...
That makes sense. So welcome to the 7 people so far in the chat. We normally get up to about 40, 50, so send the link to your friends. Don't be shy to drop a comment. We will be monitoring them and checking it out. Welcome Stig, good luck for the race. I don't know if you see there, Sean, Stignators saying welcome to you. One of your ACC boys. My shirt is soaked.
The guys are saying they can't hear Sean.
Is his volume soft, or is can't hear him at all? I'm sure it should be your chat, in the chat settings in the party. There's a privacy setting where you can share to all. I know you do commentate on ACC, so it should possibly be on. Okay, Ron says you can't hear you at all. AM Racing. I can hear you fine. So I think
On my side, it's a bit soft.
So we've got some of the first laps coming in, or just starting. Guys have finished the out lap. Thanks. Welcome, Mr. Vessels. Yeah. Guys, if you can hear Sean, just drop a message. Josh is soft just because he doesn't want to be heard. Just check on the party chat on your PlayStation that setting set to shared, because they still can't hear you. While we're waiting, Sirius Sam coming through with a 107.9 for his first flying lap. 7/10 ahead of Speed Demon. We've got a whole big shuffle at the front as the laps are coming through. Ganiwe JOO's gone to first, Pung second, MJ Ninja third, Fast One fourth, Dynamic Sean in fifth. Sam's dropped down to sixth with Speed Demon, and R. David's filling out your top 8. Ruben KBR Fuss has just gone up to second. No problem. Just wait for some comments to come through. On the chat under party settings, allow voice to be shared should be always allow. Yeah, and then go to the chat party where you can see myself, Jorn, Pearson and Josh, and then on the right hand side party settings. Just check WhatsApp quickly.
So, looks like Jay has already left the first
I'm just off the stream for a second, Josh. Give us a rundown while we're going.
So, at the moment in pole position we have Jay up the pace, 107.4, and then 0.1 second behind him is MJ Ninja. Another 4 100ths behind him is KBR Fast Father.
Got it. Allow your voice to be shared is the one. Make it always.
All right, up and running. Check my volume now. Gentlemen, welcome.
Yep.
Thanks for allowing me to be a part of your amazing series of racing. I've been watching a bit of it this evening. So thank you guys for having me in the studio tonight.
And just let us know if you can hear Sean now. Maybe on Donkey or one of.
Don't worry about hardly hear me, it's fine.
Yeah, that's the way you like it, eh, Josh?
No more stress on your side. All
I
right,
see we've got JOO Pace currently leading, who's Mr. Arrive and Drive. Stefan says hello, Shauno, so I take that as he can hear you now. Maybe just quickly give the guys a rundown where you're from and where you normally commentate.
Yeah, so how's it, folks? So I'm actually a live commentator, mountain biking, a bit of road cycling. Done a bit of stuff down at Kalani with some of the international racing, 9 hour, that type of thing. And Stefan and Alan and the guys like Alvin Sykes and Anton Repsol got hold of me, and I've been asked to join the crew of the online outdoor. So thank you very much also for just asking me to be a part of your live stream this evening.
Awesome, good to have you here. I see you, Ron, in the chat's asking where's Pace and Deaky. I know Deaky last week disconnected in the Pool 2 race while leading, so he didn't get to come back to Pool 1. Can't actually remember what happened to Kalen. I think
Also down in the Pool 2 as well.
Oh yeah, last week he had a family event, so he couldn't make it. So he dropped down to Pool 2. Stefan says all the wheel guys are down in Pool 9.
Stefan, I think you're wrong, Stefan. I think it's more like Pool 11.
Yeah, well, I've got a wheel and I'm in 5, but I don't count because I'm not a fast wheel guy. I see we've got a minute 30 left, so pretty much everyone's coming through now. They are going to be starting their last flying lap. Stiganator currently in 13th. KBR Fist sitting on pole. Sam second. Ganiwe JOO Pace third. Representing for the Pace team, with Kayla not here. R. David's just bumped him down one place. Who's your money on from some of the videos you've seen for tonight, Sean?
I know Serious Sam. I've been watching. In fact, I watched the whole highlights package of last week, and that guy can pull some serious pace. And I'm hoping that's not your stomach growling for some food after that race.
No, it's my dog asking for attention. I was wondering if it was coming through.
Brilliant.
It's half husky, so it has that very vocal personality. MJ Ninja just going wide there, so it looks like his last flying lap's toasted. We should be starting within the next minute. Tonight's race is 28 laps at Laguna Seca. We've got all your Pool 1 guys here. You'll notice a couple of the guys are running liveries and they have Track Art and TGN racing simulators on them, who are our season sponsors.
Yep.
So Josh is just getting ready to hit the start button, and we'll have a quick you can run through the grid as it comes up when the race starts in less than 7 seconds.
Sure. All right, we're just about to get started. A warm welcome to you. You've just joined us from Laguna Seca, and I've just been told by AM Racing, can Sean turn his mic up just a tad bit higher as we go up into the starting lineup. Do that now.
So KBR Fist sitting on pole, second pole of the season, snuck one in there. Sam second. I remember the last race at Interlagos when Sam was second to Fist. He used a bit of boost off the line. These cars come equipped with a power boost function. You'll see on the little dial on the right when it's red, it means that they're using it, but it is limited. So all into turn one, keeping it nice and clean. Sam has gone for the lead, Fist holding second, Kalen JOO Pace third, Josh just scrolling through the grid. I've got a dog giving me a pain in side here. KBR Fast won 6th, Ghost Climax 7th, Speed Demon in 8th, Dynamic Sean 9th, Demon 10th, Kevin 10th, Pony 11th, Stignator 12th, and Wolfie in 13th. It looks like we've only got 13 drivers tonight because there were 1 or 2 that had issues with connecting or making the time.
Yeah.
Welcome to the chat, Quintus. How did your race go?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say again, thanks to the guys like Stignator. You just mentioned him lying in 12th place at the moment. Alan van Graan from Plumstead down in Cape Town. Thanks for also putting me in touch with Stephen. I do appreciate you having me around this evening. I've been a motorsport fan for probably all my life. I live and breathe it down at Killarney, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And just to watch these guys are absolutely insane how quick that Serious Sam is rather serious.
Definitely, he's opened up a 1 second gap off the start.
Sure.
Art Davids into second place, JWO Pace third. Art Davids winning the Fuji round, looking to put a bit of pressure on Sam, who I think finished 4th at that race. So that was the one race this season so far that R. Davids has beaten Sam.
Sure.
KBR Wolfie having a moment and running off track, and the gap to the front's come down to just under 0.8 of a second. Looking at the fuel and the tyres, obviously it's still nice and early. Sam and actually R. Davids this season have been the 2 guys that have done really well with tyre and fuel saving. So we'll monitor that as the race goes along. Pace running that Mercedes-Benz livery, which is now outdated, but apparently it gives an extra 5 horsepower.
And tell me, Stephen, just in terms of me just joining you guys and not knowing too much about this, in terms of pit strategies on a 29 lap race, 28 lap race?
28 laps. These guys I expect to be going quite deep because they're very good at saving tyres and fuel. Sam's tactic the whole season's been to run until the tank's empty. Most of us in the lower pools were getting about 15, 16, some guys 17 laps, so
sure.
You might even see them go longer than that with a sprint at the end on low fuel and fresh tyres. That's been working for Sam so far this season, but Laguna Seca is very tight and technical, so we'll have to see how it plays out compared to some of the other tracks.
And then for some of the newbies that might be joining the stream this evening, just in terms of starting these the Super Formula cars, in terms of fuel load at start, do they run straight into the start of the race with their preset fuel loads?
With GT Sport, there's an option on the lobbies to have a set fuel load for all cars. With the GTSSA races, we normally just start with a full tank.
Okay.
I see Kalen's in the chat. Maybe Kalen can give us an idea of how long the fast guys are running if you race tonight. Kalen's normally one of our top contenders as well. Obviously missing last week's race, so he was not in this pool. This corner we're currently watching is the biggest nightmare I've had in a long time. 220 k's an hour through it, and that little orange sausage curve is a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it just unsettles the car completely. I spent some time before catching up with you guys, just taking one of the BMW pace cars around there, and even it unsettles even a tin top. So you can imagine what it feels like being so low to the ground as you guys are.
Definitely. This is an unusual season for us, also for anyone who hasn't watched a stream or done a race this season. Often the GTSSA series are alternate cars every week. This is a one-make series. Every race is the SF, which is a super formula out of Japan. They're basically their formula car, and it's very, very similar to a F2, slightly slower, but definitely quicker than a F3 car. So lots of downforce, lots of acceleration.
Yeah, and slightly wider tyres than the other formulas that you just mentioned, obviously, except F1, if you want to take it to that level.
Yeah, and also the same problems when you're running close behind someone, you do get that dirty air effect in Gran Turismo. Obviously that leads to a little bit of sliding on the front, so if you follow too closely for too long, it could lead to you wearing your tyres just that little bit quicker than you want to. Although it does help with fuel saving.
Yeah, so you run the risk of that squirmy front end, but you want to save some fuel in the long run. Like a guy like Sam, you were just mentioning that he can do those type of things where you can run that fuel load all the way to the end.
Definitely. I see some of the guys chatting about a few guys using traction control in the race. Normally in Gran Turismo, unlike ACC, traction controls, it's not frowned upon, but the quicker guys don't use it because it just cuts your power slightly and actually costs you time. This season been a bit unusual with the SF cars. Cutting the wheel spin doesn't seem to be any negative benefit, and it actually, the less spin helps with fuel saving as well, so there are a few guys possibly using it in this pool, and it's there for everyone to use.
Yeah.
Here we were watching a couple of the guys that had a bit serious battle last week, Pung and MJ Ninja. I know last week Jean was involved with them. He seems to be a little bit ahead and out of the danger zone this week.
I like how you referred to it as danger zone. I saw there was a bit of proper action coming from the tail end of last week's racing, so good to see this.
Definitely. Looking back to the front, Sam's pulled a serious Sam move and already out to 5 seconds clear. I'm not sure if something happened to R. Davids that he lost a bit of time, but JOO Pace is right on him with KBR Fast One keeping watch from a second further back.
Yeah. I think R. David is just battling to shake off Jay at the moment, and that's allowing Sam to pull it back.
Definitely, when you're focusing on your mirrors instead of where you're going on this track, it's so easy to lose half a second here and
it's fatal. And sorry, while you chatting there, I just noticed you were talking about Kalen Mauer, and it's just great to see him on this formula as well. How's it, Kalen? If you're still tuned in, obviously I get to chat to him. I was doing a lot of chatting about him on Tuesday in the ACC, the Online Outlaws. So, how's it, Kalen? I hope you're doing okay this evening.
Yeah, this is actually Kalen's home. He's very diplomatic, but I think he's a 3-time GTSSA champ, Mr. Pace. Won 3 different seasons of ours, so
brilliant.
I think deep down we're his favourite, but he can tell us that sometime more in the chat. Looking back here, Kevin racing under the Portuguese flag from Mozambique, running in 7th, one of his higher results since he's joined the pool. Dynamic Jean in the Opel 8th, Stignators moved up to 9th, he was 13th and 12th earlier.
Oh, awesome.
KBR Fist, who was on pole, he did drop down, but he looks like he's had another incident, so he's now 17 seconds behind the front runners, getting a podium the other day, so I'm sure that's not where he wants to be, but he'll be happy with the pole position at least.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he had a very good race last week.
Yeah, and we've got Pun, who was 12th or 11th just now, has dropped back to 13th, which is the relegation spot, so he definitely won't want to be there for long. Unfortunately, he must have had an incident somewhere along the line. Serious Sam getting some air with the corkscrew.
I was going to say, Serious Sam getting some serious air. You took the words from my mouth, mate.
Yeah. R. David's still running the Auto ECU livery that was the sponsor from round 4, the race that he won in, so I think he's grown quite attached to it since then. And then Jay's had an incident, He's lost about 5 seconds somewhere along the line.
I got to admit, guys, it's very cool to have the producer in the background, just keeping us in tune with what's going on. But if you've just joined us from outside, because obviously I see a lot of the guys that are watching are regulars. But if you're new to it and you've got some questions, please just pop your question in the chat group down below, and of course the guys here will try and answer it as best as we can, and if we can't, we'll get some of the guys that do this every single evening almost to answer your questions. So come.
Talking about every single evening, Serious Sam might be leading, but it's not easy and it's not luck. I haven't been on much the last 2 weeks, but with other races, whenever you turn your PlayStation on and join or make a lobby, Sam's on it within 10 minutes. So I think he's living on his PS4 and practicing, so that championship lead that he's got at the moment is definitely no luck.
It's his new work from home thing. Working from home, so it's taking a lot.
I was waiting for that.
Definitely that.
And you must remember, Sam has a wheel now, so I'm sure he's trying to get as much practice on a wheel now as he can.
Yeah, I think that wheel's staying packed away until the season ends. Personally, we'll have to check with him. Report back next week. Just for Sean's knowledge, generally in GT Sport, the wheel and the controller are very similar. A lot of the top streamers, Super GT, Z29 Gaming in the States, they've all done tests on it. Historically, it's been the same pace, but the guys on the controller have always had slightly higher tyre wear because of the less smoother movements.
Yeah.
This season definitely flipped it. The SF cars, we've got Stignator running wide in the corkscrew.
I was just going to say some tight and close racing, and the guy's just getting it all wrong. I couldn't see if that was a Stignator, but yeah, as Stephen just said, the Stignator running it completely wide.
Yeah, as our RTA livery, the team we both members of, so that's how I picked it up quickly, just catching the yellow and blue stripe going off track. As I was saying about the control, in this SF, if you're on board and you give it full lock in both directions, it actually gets to about 95% only with the controller, which you would think might be a disadvantage, but somehow the way Gran Turismo is working, it actually seems to help the controller guys have less tyre wear, be slightly smoother.
Interesting.
So yeah, they're definitely not unhappy about having an advantage for a change. Sam's taking serious usage of it. I think that's why I was just mentioning with Josh, he's got a wheel now, but it's packed away until these races are finished. Also, it's not a great idea to move across halfway through a season.
Yeah. And just reading some of the messages here, Stephen Kalen is just asking, is the new commentator joining us next week? Well, I'll tell you what, I will make myself available if I get invited back. I mean, I love to sit and watch the racing and just chat about it. It's really awesome.
Definitely. Just on that, fastest lap so far is a 107.2 by MJ Ninja. I know there's people talking about getting into 105s, but I was in a lobby briefly for my 45 minutes of practice this week, and Kalen and DKP both were in it, and I saw a low 106. So there's still definitely time in it for these guys. I think Sam with the 7-second lead is managing things at the moment.
Sure. And on J Double there, you can just watch him taking every single part of the track as he went through the corkscrew there. Just absolutely amazing, just hanging onto it there as the car just getting a bit of air. So well driven through that part of the course. Obviously the corkscrew, probably the most famous turn in, I suppose, in the world at the moment, and it has been for many years.
Definitely, I think there's two, and they. But virtually opposites. Obviously, one's a lot faster, but you've got the corkscrew and then the El Rouge Radeon combo at Spa.
Yes, yeah.
So one's a downhill left-right and the other's a right-left uphill.
That's it. And I don't know which one's scarier.
I think both. I wouldn't like to crash on either, realistically. Yeah, welcome Annalise to the chat. She's also asking for Sean to commentate. You're going to be very busy. You can take my job. Ladies race.
No. We want. I want to be with you on this. It's trust me, it's a bit nerve-wracking right now to be alone in a studio. So it's just nice to have someone with me. I know what it feels like to be alone, and it's scary. I tell you.
We've got our first pit stop coming in on lap 14.
Brilliant.
Which is a bit earlier than I was expecting. A KBR fast one. Still got fuel, but I had this issue with wearing out my tires too quickly, so I was planning on doing a 16-12 tonight, and I ended up doing a 14-14. So possibly that's his issue as well. And I see Stignator's also done the same. Fast one went in with 14% fuel left, and Stignator with 30. So it's definitely going to help Stignator time-wise in the pits.
All right.
Barfus with 28.
Well, yes, Alan van Grana in the pits. You can see that lovely, that yellow and blue, or what is that, turquoise stripes. Let's see. Steve, just a quick one. Does he take on fuel there, or is that just a tyre stop?
It's a fuel stop as well, and he's gone up from 30% to 74% fuel. On board they'll show it. I'm not sure from that replay why it didn't. Normally you'd see the guys putting some juice in there. I was just saying the ladies do race. They have their own league. They're on Friday nights, but every second week. So they raced last weekend, and they'll be up at it again next Friday. I'm sure you know.
Yes.
Annika often have very good battles there, and a couple other ladies.
Brilliant. Well, I'll tell you what.
Josh,
sorry.
No, carry on. My screen just froze.
Yeah, I noticed that on my side as well. I just wanted to say to Annalise and the rest of the ladies, well done. As I say, I come from online Zwift racing, which is the guys with either mountain bikes or road bikes. And we just, for 3 seasons in a row from lockdown last year, we just struggled to get the ladies on board. So well done to you and to all your mates that are riding, well, at least racing the cars. And actually, Steve, while I'm looking at those comments, Reaper 84, don't forget about Mount Panorama. Gee, I tell you what, in the GT3 cars, Mount Panorama, man, oh man, it can get scary.
Definitely. That downhill section into the chicane. I see we've got MJ Ninja ramping a cone into the pits. He was having a good battle there with Kevin, and it looked like he's decided to try and undercut him. A late decision there, probably thinking if Kevin doesn't pit, he will, and vice versa. If you could just go to the start, I just want to see how much fuel Sam in second, third. You can also see JOO's up to second now with the pit stops, shaking things up a bit for now, getting on the boost up the hill. Serious Sam ready through the corkscrew and coming around. His tyres are looking slightly worn. Fuel's definitely enough for another lap or so. Gap's sitting at 9 seconds currently, so he's comfortable managing it out in front.
So Stephen Vessel's just saying... sorry about that, Stephen. I was just saying, Stephen Vessel's just saying, try Bathurst in ACC. Well, I was trying to be diplomatic and not mention another game. But, yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at in a GT3 car around Bathurst on a hot day. It's rather tricky.
Definitely. I haven't given it a try yet, as much as Donkey's trying to convince me. But even a GT3 on Gran Turismo is tricky. I'm partial to the GR4 cars here with the GT4 cars. Terrible to say the front wheel drives. I seem to get decent times when they come up as daily races, but GT3 is a different story. I see Dynamic John, Wolfie and Speed Demon in the pits now, lap 17.
Yeah.
Sam's still out there, looks like he's going 18-10 possibly.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys that have a lot more experience, I mean, is that the norm for Sam? Is that something that is that a strategy that he sticks to at most races? Or is that something that he's, I mean, okay.
Like I was saying, I think if he was under pressure, he might have considered pitting. Right, maybe the last lap or lap before, but right now he's gap sitting at 11 seconds from R. Davids, who's also a fuel saver. Kevin's in third, also hasn't pitted, so I think looks like JOO might have jumped a couple of places with his stop. The thing with Gran Turismo is the time it takes to put fuel in, obviously if you can go longer and put less in by pitting later, it gives you a couple of extra seconds. So if you manage your tyres and you're not losing too much time, staying out seems to be the way to go in the SF season. So look for R. Davids to jump up a couple places possibly, and Kevin.
Brilliant, yeah.
Sam going in with 1% fuel left.
And on board there with Kevin, you see him just really hooking that curb up there quite hard. Does that, in terms of realism, does that do any sort of real damage to these cars, like in ACC, where the driver would obviously have his own penalty towards himself in terms of time-wise, because he's taken a knock to a curb like that?
No, sorry, I was just looking at Fast One, also getting air over the corkscrew. On GT you do have damage, either light or heavy, so we're running with light damage at the moment. The curbs don't generally cause too much problems, walls obviously, and collisions with other cars.
Yeah.
We see Sam's come out, JOO's got the gap down to 6.7 or 7.3. I think he is about 9 seconds behind, so he has made some time up by pitting earlier. But now Sam's the one with the fresh tyres and same fuel level, so we should look for him to pull away. KBR Fast One sitting in third, R. Davids fourth, Speed Demon in fifth. I'm not sure if Speed Demon's pitted yet. Ghost Climax 7th, 6th, Dynamitron 7th, Kevin's down to 8th. So that overcut looks like it might not have worked out so well. Maybe pushed it 1 or 2 laps too far, but now he has the advantage of fresh tyres. I see Speed Demon has pitted on lap 17.
It's going to be interesting to see how those lap chimes change after Sam pitted now. In fact, it's going to be interesting to see what he was doing on a slightly older tyre to the new tyre now, as we just, if we go back to him after he's completed at least 2 or 3 laps, when those tyres just get up to temperature.
Yeah, here we can see what I was talking about, Dynamic, Jean and Kevin having a battle into turn 1. Kevin with 1 or 2 laps fresher tyres, taking a look at the inside. Just not enough room. And MJ Ninja right behind both of them, who pitted on lap 14, but he'll obviously have the disadvantage of the older tyres towards the end. So he needs to get going and make a move, and you'll see on the right hand side there at the bottom he's used half of his boost at the moment.
And alright, so if we guys, if you've just joined us, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. Just looking at those 2 cars up front, and Stephen was just talking about them. You can just see how close they are, but we might just see some proper action when 3 becomes a party.
Definitely. If I was MJ Ninja, I'd be using that boost coming out of this turn and onto each straight just to try and close back in there. We see it flashing red briefly. Obviously all the cars have boosts, so if they all use it together it's not going to help, but whoever's conserved the most might have an advantage here.
Yeah, especially when we come to the latter part of the race at 22 laps out of 28, and just trying to reel them in. Time flies when you're having fun, and you see he's just reeling them in. I mean, in every sector he is definitely catching these 2. No, he's taken it wide, but managing to recover it pretty damn nicely.
Dropping right. So just getting a bit of breakup on my headset there. Online outlaws are saying that's a familiar voice in the comments. I wonder why.
All right, coming through turn number 9. That's the Rainey curve. Obviously, Wayne Rainey, famous MotoGP, the old 500s. If you remember the old days of proper racing back in the day, I'll get crucified for saying that. Into the main straight we go, and who have we hopped onto there? That's Kevin. They've been having a very good dice into turn 1, and that's the Andretti hairpin, and it's tricky through there. It's basically a double left-hander.
Yeah, that in this car, I think that's probably two of the trickiest corners. Obviously, in the slow cars, they open up a little bit easier. I see Kalen asking about the verdict for track change for final race. I'm not sure what he's asking there. Our director's gone back to the front. Sam's still managing that gap. It's squeezed back up to 7.8 from JOO, Mr. Arrive and Drive.
And Steve, if I can just butt in there very quickly, that is actually just perfect as a newbie to watching these guys. Well, it looked like he was grabbing a handful of boost as he came through. In fact, he was already on the main straight and just using a whole handful of it.
Yeah, so he's got more than half left, and with only 5.5 laps to go, okay. I think he's just trying to extend that gap a little bit, although I did see him running wide briefly, which would have cost a few tenths.
Yeah, so you can have all the boost left, but if you on it too hard, and let me tell you, I've been watching him now 2 races in a row. Jeez, man, he is absolutely flying, and he uses every part of the circuit.
Definitely. JOO is hanging in there. Currently the fastest lap holder. I'm battling to read at a 106.6 it looks like. My LT is giving me pixelated YouTube. So just looking a little bit further back, Speed Demon up to 4th. Obviously been very consistent and hasn't made any mistakes. That slightly earlier pit stop jumped him a few places. Ghost Climax 6, Sean 7th, Kevin sitting in 8th place. They all still separated by a second, just under, just over that little train.
Well, I've got to admit, great to see very close action this evening coming out of Pool 1. Great racing from all our drivers this evening, 25 out of 28 laps. It's I mean, we know Serious Sam is definitely going to take this. If anything doesn't go right.
Curse there.
No commentator. I try not to do that, but watching last week's race, probably just before this man is composed, it looks like he's quite rough on the car, but he just seems to put the car on a set of rails and gets it through.
Definitely is. One thing with Sam is he's definitely serious about his racing. Even when he got his wheel, he didn't smile in the picture. You could almost see the hint of a smile in the corners, but yeah, everyone else would be jumping up and down and crying. Sam focused as always, 7 seconds ahead of JOO and managing the race as he likes to do. Kalen's looking for the Nürburgring 24-hour for the last race. I think we'll have to save that one for later. I can't imagine trying to drive these around there for half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, another tight circuit in Europe, and I think it will make you sweat quite hectically in your rig.
Definitely. Impressive drives tonight from Speed Demon.
Yep.
I'm also just from the regular runners. Kevin sitting in 7th.
I was just going to say Kevin has stood out for me as well.
Our director is not going further down, so we haven't seen who's below 9th and below for a little while.
Hey, Director Josh, get with it, buddy. I've always wanted to say that. I don't have a director with ACC. I'm the director, so I can't crap myself out.
Just remember, I'm 10 seconds ahead of you guys, so I have to
Definitely, that's something happening with Sean there. I don't know if he ran off the previous turn and is trying to scrub some dirt off his tyres. He did a 1 minute 13.9 on his last lap, so that's why Kevin and Ninja have got past him. KBR Wolfie being quiet tonight, safe in a nice solid 11th place. Stignator's in 12th, 7 seconds behind him, and Pung, who is bringing up the rear in 13th. I know he did have an incident early on that lost him about 8 seconds. Kalen, no amount of bribery can corrupt the GTSSA admin.
Kalen's,
by the way, send it to my email.
Yeah, Kalen's dead set on going to Nürburgring. All right, folks.
Pun, who's just ahead of the leader, a couple seconds. So let's see if he's getting blue flags. Probably not necessary to move over with Sam being 8.2 ahead and only running a second or two slower.
Sam knows exactly what he wants to do coming through turn 5. He knows that he's got to get past a back marker, but essentially on the last lap, I think he's got this one in the bag.
Although Pung's just gone farming, so that's given him the position nice and easily. And obviously it will shorten Pung's race by 1 lap. I was going to say it looked like he took a little bit too much there, getting a 1 second penalty, which he's going to have to slow down and serve before the line, doing that now coming into the final turn.
Second to last corner, into the last corner now, and he's going to come and take it. Going to take the checkered flag. There we go. There's the checkered flag. You can see it now. And over the line he goes. What a tremendous race.
Pun finishes 13th with JWO coming across in second. Next man over will be R. Davids, another one of our Portuguese Mozambique drivers. Speed Demon just holding off Fast One, who had a little late charge there. Goes to Climax in 6th. Kevin very close behind in 7th. Sean 8th. Sorry, Sean's in 9th. Ninja 8th.
Yeah.
Ruben 10th place. Wolfie, Stignator and Pun should be our final results. I'm going to bring our producer in. Josh, who is your driver of the day?
Well, I don't think we can take it away from Sam, because he got to the front at the beginning and just stayed ahead of everybody else. I think that was pretty awesome.
Definitely, he pulled a Hamilton.
It's that pace livery. Kalen, I'm telling you, that's the pace livery.
Yeah, definitely the fastest combo. JWO, another podium, arriving and driving to 2nd place. R. Davids keeping his good run going. Like I was saying, very impressive drive from Speed Demon and Kevin.
Yep. Nice consistent drive there from Kevin, and as I say, I'm new to it, but he's got a very nice, you can just tell of a car's body language out on the circuit, what they're doing behind the wheel. So well done, Kevin, from my side. I enjoyed watching you race, but of course, as Josh said, let's not take it away from Serious Sam. He did some serious racing tonight. He made it stick from lap 1, from the start to the finish. He timed that pit stop perfectly. So all hats down to Serious Sam.
Definitely. I see he did get fastest lap of a 106.4 at the end, lap 26. I actually have a feeling from previous races he possibly was pushing for fastest lap on that last lap, and that's why he got the penalty this time. Just trying to show what he could do when he had to. Obviously not taking too many chances with the buffer that he had for most of that race. Our pole man, KBR Fist, 10th place. Obviously had a few incidents. At one stage was fastest. Just reading through the results. Stignator, 12th place. Mr. Allen managing to just avoid the relegation zone.
And Stephen, I don't know if we might not have spoken about it, but sponsors, I know you mentioned it right in the beginning, but maybe just from my side, same sponsors that I deal with, and just such a great bunch of guys. TGN Racing Simulators. Folks, if you've tuned in and you're not sure what we're talking about, go and check them out on Instagram. They have got the most amazing Instagram account. Check them out on Facebook, and of course they've got that website that you can go check out. From anything from a steering wheel to a racing seat to full combo deals, they've got it all. Of course, track art. I mean, what a phenomenal job those guys can put together any track. Custom built.
For today, they've just brought out an ACC track pack. So I'm quite interested to see when the GT Sport one's coming. But for all the ACC guys, you can order a track pack now from Track Art to display around your sim rig.
Yep. Very, very cool. Thanks to the guys. We appreciate you joining the sport that we love and just being a part of it.
KBR Fis in the comments asking what's the worst a pole sitter has done in a GTSA race. I think I'm in the running. Dori Ruben, just put one more pole on your record and forget about the result. I think that's about it for tonight. Thanks for everyone for joining us. Thanks to Sean for helping with the commentary. It's definitely enjoyable and appreciated. Our director, Mr. Josh Pillay.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for hiding in the background with your mic.
Always.
And tune in next week, same time.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for having me, guys. Trust me, it's an absolute treat and a pleasure for having me. Thank you very much. Great racing. Well done to all the drivers. Well done to the sponsors, and well done to the guys behind the scenes that make this all happen.
Great. Cool. Thanks, guys. I think that's all for tonight.
Yeah, but before
cheers.
Next
Josh.
week is round 8 at the Nürburgring GP circuit. So for
Correct.
Kalen, that's a little bit of a compromise. It's not the 24-hour, but it's still Nürburgring.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So Kalen, just for you, bud.
Great.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Ciao.